Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this introductory webinar of our DigitX Innovation Hub. Maybe wait another 1 or 2 minutes for everybody to arrive. We had quite a good number of registrations, so happy to see a lot of interest in this. So 1 or 2 more minutes and then we're good to go. I may already remind you very briefly of our usual webinar procedures. So this webinar is being recorded, and we will make this recording available to all our subscribers of the program who may not have been able to join here. And by staying connected to this call, to this webinar, you agree with this. I would remind everybody to mute their microphones, disconnect their video as long as they're not the speakers. And we would also like to refrain you from using any AI recording tools. As I said, this webinar is recorded and will be made available as a recording, so no need to record that separately. Obviously, we have at the very end also a Q&A session foreseen. But until then, if you have any questions to any of the speakers, you can use our chat function that is open and where you can type your questions in the chat. Maybe also mention the name of the person to whom you have the question, so it makes it easier. And then during the Q&A session, if we still have some time after our questions from the chat, you can also raise your hand, and then we will give you the floor, and then would ask you to quickly unmute your microphone and you show your video if you can, and then ask your questions, and then we'll take care of this. So I think it's now 3 minutes over the start time. So let's jump in. Again, welcome to all of you to this introductory webinar of our DigitX Innovation Hub, the latest activity initiated by the European Textile Technology Platform. My name is Lutz Walter. I'm the Secretary General of the organization. I'm here with my colleague, Matteo Maniero, who is supporting me in the work on this platform. Also, our colleague Charlotte is connected here, who will support the communication activity around this new Innovation Hub. So for all those who do not yet know the organization, so a very, very quick intro. I know that most of the people connected here know us well. The Textile ETP, in short, is the largest community for textile research and innovation professionals in Europe. Our objective is to ensure long-term competitiveness of the EU textile clothing industry, and mainly doing that through collaborative and market-oriented research and innovation, or the promotion, actually, of that collaboration in research and innovation. We're Brussels-based. We were launched some 20 years ago, an independent non-profit organization a little over 10 years ago. We have 4 founder organizations: EURATEX, the European Textile and Clothing Industry Confederation; TextileNet, the European Network of Textile Research Institutes; EU Textile 2030, a collection of European textile innovation clusters; and NetFAS, the network of European Textile and Fashion Universities of Applied Sciences. In addition to those 4 founder organizations, we have in the meantime over 200 associated member organizations from all over Europe. Our 2 innovation hubs, to which now the third one is being joined, has more than 400 subscribers, and in total we connect well over 1,500 experts, textile research innovation experts from all over Europe to our network. What we do in our network is basically 3 things. We do network as a platform. We bring people together. We do that through in-person events, but also a lot of online activities and webinars with our members community platform. And we have a wealth of information that you can find about us online, our e-newsletters, our social media, especially LinkedIn, where we are very active. The second pillar of our activity is what we call learning. And this is also where the DigitX Innovation Hub is located. So these are activities where we try to bring to our members and subscribers the latest information and expertise in a specific thematic field. And there are a couple of those, and I will say a few words about that in a moment. We also act as a sort of a think tank to the textile and clothing industry in Europe, where we publish from time to time research and innovation roadmaps or strategies or position papers. And we also are very active in sharing results of European research projects in the area of textiles, where we have since 2 years now the EcoSystex community, which brings together all these EU-funded projects, by now over 50. And then we also facilitate access to these funding opportunities for our members. We are the lead organization of a new partnership together with the European Commission called Textiles of the Future. And already for many years, we're organizing a brokerage system whereby interested research or industry partners who want to set up EU-funded projects or EU projects and apply for funding can find partners, can get help in the application, get all the information of where to apply, how to apply, when to apply. So this is in a nutshell what we do. We are a membership-based organization, so we have a basic associate or networking membership where you get general networking access to the general network, you get involved in our strategy and think tank related work, and you get all the activities related to EU funding. And then if you are more specifically interested in certain thematic areas, then you can become a subscriber to one or several of our innovation hubs. So we have 3 of these hubs running now, SmartEx for smart and technical textiles, circular and bio-based textiles for everything related to sustainability, and now the latest activity, DigitX, which is our innovation hub for everything related to digitalization. So, and this is what we were going to talk about today in the next, 1.5 hours, to make sure you clearly understand what this innovation hub is all about, who is involved in it, and what kind of services and information we intend to provide to you, so that you can decide, if you have not decided yet, whether you want to subscribe to this service or not. So it is starting at the beginning of this year. So we are having made quite a bit of preparation work to be able to kick it off and bring you all the details that you need to know here today. But maybe let me first start with a few reflections. Why do we launch this hub? Why do we believe digitalization is so important for our industry going forward? And in my opinion, there are 3 main drivers for digitalization that pretty much all companies in the business, whether they are in the early stages of the supply chain or consumer facing, whether they're in fashion or home textiles or technical textiles, you are concerned by these drivers. The first one is simply digitalization for the sake of efficiency. So digitally organized factories, digitally organized product creation, digitally organized supply chains tend to be a lot more efficient than those that are manually organized. So it avoids a lot of inefficiency, a lot of waste in the system. It usually saves time. You have much faster time to market, and it saves a lot of resources. It also saves labor costs, which is very important. So the first important driver for digitalization is efficiency, and I think most of the companies understand that, which doesn't mean yet that everybody really realizes that potential to the full. The second one that is becoming more and more important as well is sustainability or compliance with sustainability legislation that we all know is becoming very important in our sector. And also this is something that without a digitally organized flow of data through your factory, through your product development, through your supply chain, you will not be able to manage compliance and sustainability in the way that you will have to do it. So that is definitely also a very important driver. And the third driver is also that digitalization, especially the combination of products with data, allows you also to exploit completely new business models. So business models that move away from the pure sort of product-driven system where we produce as cheaply as we can, and then we try to sell as many products to as many customers as often as we can. So this is basically the conventional business model that is predominant in this industry, but it leaves a lot of value on the table. So there's a lot of services that can be provided around those products, and also especially services after the product has been sold to a consumer or a business customer, whether that is maintenance services, repair services, resale services, but also take-back services that lead then to recycling, for instance, and other circular business models. So there's a lot that can be done in new business models, which allows you to capture a lot more data, a lot more value from your activities, and also incidentally makes you more competitive, because these service business models usually are less comparable. So as a business, you compete less on price, but you really compete on value of your product service combination. So these are, in my opinion, three very broad and very powerful drivers for digitalization. And the underlying thing of all of this, and I mentioned it already a few times, is of course the word data. So data is something that becomes so fundamental in everything that we do in the textile business, and obviously across all businesses and across our lives. So that in essence, what you have to keep in mind for the future is to say a supplier, a process, a product, or a manager without data is not an asset, is a liability. So, and this is something that I think will become clearer and clearer to everybody in the business. We can also say it in the words of the former Google CEO, Eric Schmidt, who said, "In God we trust, everybody else has to bring data." I think this will be the modus operandi also in the textile business in the future. And in order to do that, to be able to bring the data that you need to bring to your client, to your consumer, to the authorities that will check your product, you will have to be really digitized in your operations. So there's no way around that. And that's what we try in our Digital Innovation Hub to help companies with, to help you understand what are those digitalization drivers, what are the tools and procedures to follow, how do you digitize your business, where do you digitize in your business. And we have singled out as a kind of a structure for this program, three important, let's say, functions of a textile business. So the first function that pretty much every business has is the product development, the design, the product creation function. And here, a lot of digitalization is already happening, but a lot more will be happening. And artificial intelligence will probably play a very important role in this. So one of the pillars of the activities of DigitX will be around the digital product creation and artificial intelligence, among other things, that help you create digital products, also creating digital products or products with the help of digital tools for specific targets, whether these are sustainability targets or functionality targets or specific market-related targets. The second pillar of our activity is, of course, where the actual product happens or the actual product is created, which is the production process. So also in the production process, we have traditionally seen a very analog process in our industry. We see, of course, the first levels of digitalization. Pretty much every textile machine today comes with a screen attached to it, and on that screen you can interact. You also have a lot of measurements and sensors and so on that are equipped. These machines can be equipped with. But we can get much further than that, and we will go much further than that. We will digitize entire processes. We know that from the printing process, where digital printing plays a bigger and bigger role. But we see that in many other areas where we can go directly from a digital design product immediately to the production, but it requires machine capacities and organizational capacities that are important. And then the whole idea of networking production facilities for on-demand, for just-in-time production. There's a lot of potential there to increase the speed, to increase the precision, to increase the time to market that is so important in not only in the fashion, but in the textile business as a whole. And the third area that is where digitalization will play a very, very important role is the supply chain. So our supply chains are long, they are complex, they involve a lot of processing steps that are usually taken care of by different individual or separate companies. They're also usually geographically spread. They're culturally spread as well. So making information flow along the supply chain, bringing traceability and transparency to these supply chains in order to fulfill, among other things, compliance requirements such as the digital product passport is becoming extremely important. And we want to help you also to start with the right foot in that journey. And so a lot of what we will present to you in this program will relate to how to digitize your supply chain. So all of this is something that we will not be able to do on our own. In order to bring all of this, we have assembled what I would consider a dream team of experts from all over Europe, experts from the industry, from research organizations, from industry associations, to help us build this program and to help us also bring real practical expertise and technological know-how into this program. So we have currently 2 strategic innovation partners in the form of Lectra and TrusTrace. We have 1 key technology partner, SmartexAI, and we have 5 organizations that support us as co-hosts in this program. We have the ITA Academy from Germany. We have CITEVE, the Textile Technology Center from Portugal. We have the Finnish Textile Fashion Association. We have Politecnico di Milano from Italy, and we have EURATEX as the sector association based here in Brussels. So, and the people that you see here on the slide, you will also hear from most of them a little later today. So we're very, very grateful to have that team together, and I believe with that team we can bring you a really top-notch program. So how does it all work? So as I said, these innovation hubs that we organize are subscriber-based organizations, and you become a member or subscriber of this program either as an organization, as a company, or also as an individual expert. That's up to you. Once you subscribe, you get access to the program platform where you find everything in one place. And I will tell you the details of what you will find all there. You then have an access to a broad selection of events, mostly online, and you can participate in them as you see fit and as you're interested. If you miss a certain event, you can always rewatch this event and download these slides from our platform at a later date of your convenience. And we also have a newsletter that we will share with you every 2 months to keep you in the loop of what's going on in the field of digitalization. And we also very much appreciate your input into programming. So we will present you a few first programming blocks already today, so you get a better idea of what is to come. But as the program progresses, we want to get as much input from you as well, so that we can bring you really the content that you are most interested in. And we will start with a little exercise at the very end of this session today to see what you, if you subscribed, all would be interested in. So the Innovation Hub it has several elements. So the learning is obviously first and foremost in it. We have several formats for that learning. So we have our let's say standard learning webinars, which are usually 1.5 to 2 hour long webinars with 2 to 3, 4 speakers on a specific subject, looking at it from different angles, looking at both from a technology, but also from a practical business point of view. We always try to bring you practical information. We have a second format, which we call the practical tutorials, which is more sort of related to understanding the basics step by step and how some of these digital technologies can be applied in the business. And as I said before, all these learning materials remain available. The recordings remain available for you to view at any moment on our platform. Importantly, we also want to use that hub as a networking opportunity, so you can meet and connect to other people, to obviously providers of expertise and technologies, but also you can connect among each other. You find on our platform the full database of contacts, and we want ideally to go beyond pure networking. We really want to bring collaboration or make collaboration happen. We will from time to time organize hands-on workshops where you're invited to join a physical visit at a facility where interesting digital technologies can be tested or showcased. And we also will organize online technology deep dives where we engage with one specific expert on a specific field in a deeper way, where you can really question that expert and hopefully also develop some collaboration afterwards. And of course, it's also a place where you can share information, you can share your news, you can share information that you would like the network to know through our communication channels. So it's really, that's why we call it a hub. So it's where everything in a way comes together. So it is innovation sharing, information sharing and networking. So as I said, we have developed a program for the first 6 months of this year. I will come back to that in a moment, but just to give you a bit of a feeling of the kind of rhythm of activities and the type of activities. So there is learning webinars, technology deep dives, the practical tutorials, and then some opportunities to meet face-to-face also later than in May and June. So, but I will come back to that towards the end of the session here, so that you can take note of the dates and the topics, so no need to write it down all here. I also mentioned that we have our Innovation Hub platform. So it is this web-based system where every subscriber gets a personal login. You find a demonstration video for those who are new to it. You find then, once you're in the platform, you find a subscriber directory. So every expert that is registered in this Innovation Hub has a profile there and can also customize the profile. So the more information you provide about yourself, the easier it is for others to find you and find your expertise and connect with you. So you can directly send messages, email messages through the system to other contacts. You will receive all the calendar invites for all our events then as an email from the system directly in your Outlook calendars. You will receive our newsletters every 2 months. So we're not spamming you, but we'll provide some information from time to time. And then, as I said, on that platform, all the recorded webinars of the past will be available for viewing at any moment, and these slides also will be available for download. So it's really the place to go to find all information around the Innovation Hub. As I said, sharing of information is very important. So when you become a subscriber, you, unless you opt out, if you don't want your information to be shared, but for all other subscribers, we would add your logo as a subscriber to the website. You are very much invited to follow the LinkedIn page of the DigitX Hub, where we share all the information as well, to comment and also to like if you do like, and you will also receive, as I said, every 2 months our newsletter, the Nexus, and for paying subscribers you also have a possibility to add a news item to this newsletter every 2 months. So there's a lot of possibility also to share information. So then the question is, how do you join? If you haven't done it yet, it's very simple. There's an online registration form, where I think also the link will be provided in the chat if not yet done. We have 3 basic subscription models. We have the expert subscription, which, as the name says, involves one single expert, and cost at its basic rate 500 euros a year. We have the team subscription, so that means up to 3 people from the same organization, from the same company, for a normal rate of 750 euros. And then we have the unlimited corporate rate, where you can sign up as many people in your own organization as you wish to these activities for a fixed fee of 1,000 euros a year. There is one important requirement, is that as a subscriber, you have to be based in a European country. This is part of our statutes of our activities. European country for us means beyond the European Union. So also any country in and around Europe that is not a member of the EU. If you're based in the UK, if you're based in Norway, in Switzerland, in Turkey, you are absolutely welcome to join. That is the remit of our activities. So beyond that, unfortunately, we cannot offer these services. And then there is a specific discount available for our subscribed ETP members. If you are an associate member of the Textile ETP, you can, for its first year of activities of 2025, register one expert free of charge. So there you don't have to pay anything. You sign up and then you are in, but it means that it's one expert per organization. So if a second person from your organization also is interested, then as an organization, you would have to upgrade to a team subscription, but you will get a discount for that as well, which you can see here on the slide as well. We also have a special promotion ongoing with the industry members of the EURATEX national industry associations. So for any national textile or clothing industry associations that is member of EURATEX, companies that are affiliated with that association can use the same benefits. So they can sign up one company expert free of charge for the year 2025 and can also benefit from the discounted rate for the team and corporate subscription. So we believe that these costs are eminently democratic. So if somebody is really interested in the field of digitalization, this should not be a barrier to access this information. I think those prices are essentially the ticket of a one-day conference. So, but you get a full year of activities, of plenty of information, and also ways to interact. So we believe that this is indeed very cost-effective. And these are annual subscriptions, which, of course, we plan to continue that activity beyond the 12 months. So these would then automatically renew unless they're cancelled, which is possible at any moment. But you have to do it before the end of September of each subscription year. So this is basically where I want to stop, and may have been over a few minutes. So I would like now to invite our co-hosts to say a few words, and we will start with Gesine Köppe from the ITA Academy in Germany. Gesine, you're here, I hope.
Yes, I'm here. I hope everyone can hear me well.
Everybody can hear you well.
Perfect. Yes, thank you so much for this kind introduction. I'm really excited to see that we have so many people here in this audience. I'm a bit sorry for my cracky voice. I hope you can hear me well. Yes, so I am Gesine. I am leading ITA Academy. ITA Academy is a spin-off from Aachen University and belongs to this huge networks of textile research institutions in Europe. And yeah, our focus is, as Academy said, on the capability building, because we believe that bringing knowledge to the industry from research, but also vice versa, from industry to research, brings a huge impact to our development and all the very, very important topics this whole environment and area is working on at the moment. And how do we do this? So I am based in Aachen, as Lutz said, and we are running the Innovation and Learning Center in Aachen. You might have heard about the Digital Capability Center before. It's a relaunch of the name, but our focus is the same. So we provide consultancy services, knowledge transfer, workshops, and a very good learning environment to run the so-called called digital transformation. So this means that I would like to invite you to Aachen to show you our very nice shop floor where we have equipped a lot of textile equipment. And this equipment even is equipped by a lot of sensor technologies, by IoT tech, by AI solution, camera-based quality inspection. And very, very important is that we are partnering with a lot of tech companies all over the world. And with one company from Spain, we have developed an algorithm which is balancing the energy consumption of our center. And this made us able to reduce our energy for the most energy intense service in our shop floor. And very nice news is that we recently won the Corporate Digital Responsibility Award for this technology. And yes, I hope I can give some inspiration on new technologies to you and share it with the network here.
Thank you very much, Gesine, and I'm sure we'll find an opportunity to organize a hands-on workshop at the ITA Academy in Aachen the very near future.
Perfect. Looking forward. Thank you.
Thank you. And then we move on from Germany to Portugal, as we I would say we follow the list of the co-hosts as I see them here on the screen. So João, over to you, CITEVE.
Okay, can you see my presentation?
Yes, we can.
Okay, just 2 slides to illustrate what I'm going to say. First of all, thank you very much to be here for the invitation. And truly, I hope to learn a lot during this whole initiative during the year. Anyway, I'm representing here CITEVE. CITEVE is the technology center for the textile industry in Portugal. We are located in Famalicão. Famalicão is at the north of Portugal, pretty much where all the textile industry, the Portuguese textile industry, is located. What we do testing, research, engineering, consultancy, certification, training. We work with standards and also cluster management. Some numbers, so you can see the volume of our work and the dimensions of our activity. I'm not going to lose too much time here with the numbers, so I will proceed. Of course, we have of course, all this work is done in technical textiles, and regarding technical textiles, we work in automotive, we work for health, sport, and so on. So regarding, I'm going to switch slides. Regarding digitalization, okay, I'm here also representing a specific department of CITEVE, which is a digital transition department. The digital transition department started in 2021, but really the work began in 2018. And back then, the question was, how can CITEVE help our companies to overcome the challenges and the problems with digitalization? Our response was to define a digital innovation agenda and bring it together players from the industry, both textile and digital companies, or IT companies, if you want to call it that way, but also bringing together the other departments of CITEVE and having a hybrid approach with digital skills, but also technical from textile and technical skills together. Who we are. Fast forward to 2025, we are 28 people in the team, organized more or less in those teams that you have there: groups, robotics, data science, digital product creation, development, and project management. What we do research, service, and training. And the areas that we work in is pretty much aligned with what Lutz just presented before: product, process, and digital and supply chain. Digital supply chain, of course. In the areas of product, we have digital representation of materials, 3D, digital product creation, AI, of course, in all the concerns product development. In the process, we have robotics, IoT, digital twin, AI for optimization and forecasting. And in the field of supply chain, we have worked of course, in the digital product passport, but also in the digital integration of supply chain. Our biggest initiative is that you can see in the bottom is TextPact. you can follow us, and that way you can see what we are doing. It's a big initiative, about more than 40 partners, about 40 millions of investment, and we are also coordinating that activity and working many of the projects included in it. So that's it from my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, João. And we move on to next one. It's Maja-Lisa from the Finnish Association. Maja-Lisa, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Lutz. First of all, Lutz and your team, thanks for initiating this Innovation Hub for digitalization. And thanks for inviting to join this webinar. So, as said, I represent the Finnish Textile and Fashion, and under my picture, Suomen Tekstiili ja Muoti means Finnish Textile and Fashion. We represent Finnish industry from non-woven technical textiles until apparel and fashion. So majority of our member companies are in apparel and fashion industry. So recent years, and let's say from mid or early 2010, our association has invested and helped our members in regards of sustainability and circularity. But now, from let's say four years, we have put our emphasis on digitalization as well. And we started our first digital product passport related project 2021. So we try to increase knowledge and capabilities in our member organizations to digitalize their businesses. So we probably know that this is going to be the next big transformation in the industry. So far, the labor force in the global labor market has been kind of at a reasonable price to maintain the existing type of the textile industry and manufacturing system. But for several reasons, we probably see that this is the way that European companies need to invest more. And as Lutz explained, this Innovation Hub will help companies to increase their capabilities in various aspects. So in our association, we have held 2 last years into topics such as AI, data analytics, e-commerce, digital marketing, 3D design, etc., etc. And we have also encouraged our educational and research institutions to help the companies to invest in these technologies and increase their competitiveness in this regard in the market. So I'm very glad that we have now these European initiatives, and we can, through this Innovation Hub, bring companies as well as research institutions together all over the Europe. And I do hope that this could also initiate new projects between various companies and knowledge providers. I wish all the best, and I encourage everybody to participate. And I want to mention that if there are any member online from who are member in our association, don't forget what Lutz said, that there is a free participation possibility for one expert from any our member organization. I think this is a quite good offer, and I also thank all the partners here in the program who have enabled this possibility for the companies to do their next big change. Thanks for this, and let's go forward.
Thank you, Maja-Lisa, and I have to say that you were one of the driving forces really to get this program up and running. So I'm really grateful for that, and yes, I do hope that many other of the national federations promote this program among their companies, because, as you said, it is a generous offer. We know that this is a need. We know that especially smaller companies often struggle with this, so we want to make that as accessible as we can. So, but obviously, we cannot bring the information to the companies if the companies don't come to us. So that's very important. So we move on, and we have Chiara Colombi from Politecnico di Milano. Chiara, can you?
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for having me. I'm very happy to be co-host of DigitX. I'm an associate professor at Politecnico di Milano, based in Milano, Italy. And we, as a Polytechnic university, represent a very specific approach to the context of fashion, as we do perceive and do work within fashion, understanding it as an industrial product, so supporting it with a design-oriented perspective in support of the different processes of this industry. In particular, I'm part of the design department of Politecnico di Milano. The design department works in different fields and as well in fashion. And in particular, I'm a member and founder of a research lab called the Fashion in Process. The name expresses very well this concept of being interested in understanding how creativity can be a driver of innovation with a design-oriented perspective in the different manufacturing processes, but also downstream processes. In the context of DigitX, the design department, and in particular the team of Fashion in Process, will offer a perspective where we work merging the understanding of the innovation in creative and cultural industries such as fashion and textile, and the innovation proposed by digital technologies. The goal is to enhance the innovation potential that companies within the textile industry and fashion industry can promote through design research and through design activities embedded in the different processes of a textile company in order to transform as well the company culture, the company approach to the market. The specific, let's say, approach that we will work with in the contents that we'll deliver within DigitX is, of course, connected to the concept of the twin transition. And in particular, we want to understand how digital technologies with a specific focus on AI can drive innovation that can serve both transforming the supply chain, but also transforming the product itself, but also eventually promoting innovation of business models. So understanding how the integration of existing tools that are AI-driven can be embedded in existing supply chains, but also how we can design ad hoc tools that can promote a new understanding of the manufacturing system, delivering new concept of product and services as well for the industry. Thank you very much, and I wish all the best for such a network and such initiative.
Thank you very much, Chiara. So we are really glad to have you on board as well. And I think also to this understanding of how AI will be really sort of, well, you can say invade or maybe permeate, let's say, a lot of the functions in the fashion business and the textile business. I think that's very important to understand and to do that in a structural way. Very glad to have you on board. So thank you. And we go to our last of our 5 co-host organizations. We have Pedro here from EURATEX. Pedro, floor is yours.
Yes, indeed. Good afternoon. I hope you can hear me, and I hope that the slides can show in from your side.
Yes,
Perfect.
yes.
So I'm Pedro Gonçalves. I'm a policy officer at the Innovation and Skills Department here at EURATEX. EURATEX is the European Apparel and Textile Confederation, which we represent we are the voice. We represent the interests of the European industry, textile and clothing industry, at the level of the EU institutions. And for us, it's really a privilege to participate in this initiative, in this DigitX Innovation Hub, to support you, the Textile ETP, as well as all DigitX members and future ones, by bringing together our member associations and the broader industry to engage in these topics of digitalization, innovation, throughout all the activities that we have planned for the future within this hub. Just a quick slides on this, just to show you how relevant the topic of digitalization really is for us. Recently, we conducted a survey with some of the textile European companies regarding this topic, and it was a bit alarming in the sense that at least 44% of the companies that replied to this survey, they mentioned that they didn't invest that much in this digitalization. So it shows that we need to do more in that aspect. However, within their vision for their own companies, they have future technology plans, and they mention some key topics that they perceive as relevant to be more competitive in the future. And the artificial intelligence, AI, comes first, obviously, as well as IT services for data management, such as the digital product passwords. So these two, for example, are the leading ones, but there's many other topics that they still consider important, and I'm sure that we'll be touching upon these topics within the DigitX Innovation Hub. So even though it's the textile industry is still struggling, our industry is not the only one. Everyone is lagging behind in this digitalization and green transition. And thus the Commission, the new European Commission that came to office, the new mandate that started in December 2024, they released a document 2 weeks ago that is the major initiative from their mandate. It's called Competitiveness Compass, and there's 3 main core topics within these documents: the decarbonization, innovation, and security, while there's other 5 horizontal topics. But as you can see, pointing north, it's innovation. So they think really that innovation is one key topic, and it's good to know that the Commission is still has this in mind, and it's a key priority for them in the next few years. Just a quick note on some of the main initiatives within this innovation scope from this document from the European Commission. They have this Startup and Scale-Up Strategy, European Innovation Act, AI Factories Initiative, Apply AI Strategy, EU Cloud and AI Development Act, Advanced Materials Act, Circular Economy Act. So all of these and others, so I recommend you really to go through the document as well, will be some main dossiers that EURATEX will follow together with our members, and that we hope that the DigitX members also contribute in these initiatives in a way that all the knowledge, all the collaboration that we'll see within this hub will support us in our work, in our engagement with the European Commission, the Parliament, as well as at the national level as well. So we are very happy to contribute and to be and to learn and from all of the participants. And to finalize, following a bit on Lutz's words and Maria Lisa, to really push for all of you that are still not registered in this DigitX Innovation Hub. If you are a member of the National Textile Association, that a member of EURATEX per se, you are entitled to a free account to join this hub. So don't miss this opportunity, and looking forward for these next years within this community. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pedro, and very glad to have EURATEX full support behind it. And I think even if in this Innovation Hub we will not deal with policies as such, but what I think you have to understand is that these policies often are also, let's say, underpinned with support programs. So when they are industry digitization and AI factories and all these kind of innovation acts, they will most likely be underpinned by specific programs, support programs as well. And as those programs become available and those funding opportunities become available, we will definitely also inform the DigitX Innovation Hub partners about these opportunities. So that's, I think, as an additional, let's say, a little carrot that we can provide here. So thank you very much to our 5 co-host organizations, and then we move over to our strategic innovation partners. And let me, before I hand over the word to Philippe, maybe say a few words about the concept behind that. So we have a number of, well, we currently have 2 strategic innovation partners. These 2 companies, Lectra and TrusTrace, are not sort of kind of selected or chosen at random. What is important for us by inviting technology providers to this program and to help us shape this program is to really bring first-hand education to you. And a lot of the digitalization know-how is obviously with the digital technology provider, the software and solution providers. However, we always want to make sure we partner with organizations who approach this collaboration in a spirit of education. So it is not about selling products, selling solutions. It's really about educating the market, educating the industry about what these tools, what these solutions can actually do, why do they exist, why these tools will be also more in demand in the future. And I think the 2 companies that we have partnered with, and they may not be the only companies we partner with, we will certainly bring additional strategic innovation partners on board as the program progresses. But these 2 companies are, in my opinion, really good examples of leading the industry, not only with their technology, but also with the education, the market education efforts. And that's why we're very happy to have both Lectra and TrusTrace on board. And as a first one, I would like to invite Philippe to take the floor if he's here, unless he's here. Yeah, Philippe, you're here. Okay.
Supposed to be here. I don't know if you see me on my screen.
Yep.
It's okay. So thank you very much, Nels, for inviting us and your team, and good afternoon, everybody. I am Philippe Ribera. I am the VP of Innovation of Lectra, and as VP of Innovation, it's normal we co-work with you guys on what will be the innovation for the next 10 years in the fashion industry and later on. I just want to introduce with Lectra briefly, and then when I say with Lectra, we launched in 2017 a strategic initiative on Industry 4.0. What is for us Industry 4.0 is software, equipment, data, and services. We already spoke about that, but what I want to say, it's already a 10 years way we are working on this project. We still believe that this project is not ending, and it will live for the next 10 years. What is important to understand is that as of today, we are a 50 years old company, 3,000 people, and we published our result yesterday, and more than 520 million revenue. What we capitalize is mainly on experience, and that's the reason why you see that we have experience center, expertise center, industrial center all over the world. Why? Because we want our customer to have the same quality of experience, service, understanding of their business all over the world. Okay. And some reference customer, we spoke about fashion, but we are also in other business. Fashion is more than 50% of our revenue, and it's big company like small company. It's really everything everywhere. EURATEX just spoke about innovation, and it's also, I just want to give you one number. Lectra is investing nearly 12% of its revenue purely in innovation per year. So it's a big number there, because we believe that without this investment, we will not be there in 10 years or 15 years. So we need to invest, we need to provide technology and to support any initiative in terms of technology that could support the fashion industry. As I said, we have different market. Number one is fashion, number two is automotive, number three is furniture. Okay. For all these three markets, we have one common solution that you know part of it. It's what we call the extended cutting room, but the extended cutting room means a lot of software, a lot of cloud application, and on-demand capability, and so on and so on. In the fashion industry, we have a more complex offer because the customers are more complex. And we move from product development, collection management, integration in marketplace, brand performance in terms of marketing to traceability. So much more complex, much more data, thousands and millions of data to be handled and managed in this different platform. How did we do that? We did that mainly in the past 5 to 10 years. And if you look at our roadmap, it's a roadmap that is showing to me not only that we are acquiring company, because acquisition is the only way to accelerate the innovation process inside our company, but it's also one way to demonstrate that we transform Lectra. Lectra 10 years ago and Lectra today is not the same company. So if you have a remember of who was Lectra 10 years ago, forget about it, and think we are very different. And we will be more and more different because, as you see, we are integrating new strategic partnership, new company in the AI area. And AI technology is moving so fast that we need to be very, very reactive and very agile, let's say that this way. Yeah. So what I expect from the project we are going to work on with you is really to share best practice. Lutz was speaking about education. Lectra is an open company, so we are ready to share any best practice and to try to discuss with you how could we build a better future in terms of technology, in terms of business process for the fashion industry. So I think that's it, Lutz. And
Thank you. Thank you very much, Philippe, and very glad to have you on board. And you will demonstrate that you're an open company by inviting the Innovation Hub subscribers to your innovation center at your headquarters close to Bordeaux later this year. So I'm very glad about that. Thank you, Philippe. And we move on now to our second strategic innovation partner, TrusTrace, and I trust that Anya is also on the call.
I am. Yes, I hope you can hear me. I have a little noise in the background. We're preparing the Swedish delegation for COP30, so I unfortunately don't have a meeting room, but I hope it's not too noisy in the background. I will also just share.
Very clear.
Good. Good. I'll just share my screen so you can also see a little presentation. First of all, I have to say, thank you also for having us in this group. We are very excited to be here, and as Liz was saying, really the importance of data. That's why we exist. So we are a data company. We focus solely on supply chain traceability and data collection. So basically, helping brands and suppliers understand their supply chain, map it if they don't know what it looks like yet, analyze it for risk, ensure that it's compliant, and be able to improve the impact of those supply chains. And before I jump into what you do, hopefully a lot of you guys know that already. So the reason TrusTrace was founded, we actually started out as a grassroots organization because of fashion. It's founded by 4 Indian engineers that have been working with data and using data to solve problems their entire lives. And the problem that they saw was the massive pollution of the fashion industry in Therapur, or in close to Coimbatore, where they were living, and the effect on the rivers, the effect on lakes that were burning because of the chemicals, rivers that turned purple, or whichever color the color of the season was, and the effect on the groundwater and the ability to do farming. So they saw a huge community impact that they wanted to change, and they realized quite fast that you can't really make a significant impact within an industry that is global without having some data to prove where the challenges are, and use that as a way to improve and direct brands to the right kind of suppliers that are also working on solving these issues. That's kind of how TrusTrace got born back in 2016. So we've almost been working for 10 years. So not as old and experienced as Lectra, but very experienced within fashion, because that's really where we work. And founded with the vision of a future where all supply chains are traceable, circular, and fair, because we believe that you cannot change what you cannot measure. So you need to have the data to know where supply chains need improvements. Circularity obviously is a lot of what we're looking at with all the compliance coming in, and fair from a social perspective to ensure there's social justice across the supply chain as well. So we really want to empower companies with the data to know, prove, and improve the impact of their supply chains. And with that, what we do is basically we collect supply chain sustainability data, collecting it, connecting it, so you can better analyze it, we validate it, we help distribute it if it's going to be used for compliance, if it's going to be used for improvement or collaboration, and obviously display it also in different forms, like for DPPs for consumers. And today we work with many of the world's biggest brands, and we really work at scale. Obviously, they have a lot of data to track. So we've tracked so far more than 3 million purchase orders, more than 33 million transactions, and we have more than 80,000 suppliers and facilities on the platform for fashion specifically. So this is really our passion, is helping fashion improve. If you look at where we sit, there's a lot of talk about supply chain risk. Obviously, both from a operational perspective, there's a lot of supply chain disruptions. You also have the risk in terms of compliance with forced labor, with deforestation. Any type of risk management, you need primary data, as we like to call it, your own data, to validate if this risk actually exists. So we help inform risk and evaluate risk and mitigate risk through, for instance, corrective action planning, because we can actually go in and see where your biggest risks are and how you should be managing them. We obviously also use traceability for compliance. So in order to prove that you are compliant, you need chain of custody information, you need detailed documentation, often on a purchase order level or shipment level. So that type of data collection to ensure you can share the right data with regulators, but also just to know for yourself that you are managing your risk and you are compliant. And ultimately, what everything is getting at is, of course, we want better impact. We want to improve the environmental sustainability. We want to improve the social responsibility, and you need data to really see where you need to act on these things. So that's kind of where we sit. Traceability and this primary data informs all of these decisions and really help companies, whether it's suppliers, manufacturers, or brands, to make the right decisions for them and their supply chains. And what that looks like, it's basically a platform with lots of different capabilities, making it easy to collect the data. So we use a lot of AI, obviously even more now when it's more easily available, to make it easy for everyone who's inputting the data to do that, and obviously also to analyze and use the data to drive value. So if you're looking at the supply chain as a whole, you need to know what your supply chain looks like. You need to know who are your suppliers and what are their ESG credentials. You need to understand what the risk is and automatically validate that risk and screen for it, because your supply chains may change based on the materials you're using, or the processes you're doing, or the orders you're getting. And you want to be able to ensure and prove network compliance. And you want to be able to measure and report and improve on impact. So that's basically what we help brands and suppliers with. We have a lot of, if you're interested in more, we have a lot of education. And one of the reasons that Lutz invited us to this group is we do a lot of books or a lot of white papers on how do you prepare for DPPs, what is traceability. We run a lot of pilots with governments and other industry associations to basically prepare for the future where the supply chains will be fully digital, but we're not there yet. So how can we take the whole industry through the right steps and equip you guys on the call and the rest of the ecosystem to really know how to proceed, what is the best way to move forward, given there's also some uncertainty still in laws and regulations, like what should be your roadmap, what should be the way to go. So we're very happy to be here to help show the way forward and help you guys understand how to best leverage the data that you have and that you can get to drive more value for you and drive more impact for the industry. And that's it for me.
Thank you very much, Anja. And we will hear a lot more about data throughout this program and what you do with the data other than sitting on it, which is, I think, what is the kind of the standard approach to a lot of the industry, unfortunately. So, well, thank you, and very glad to have TrusTrace on board exactly for the reason that you explained, that there's a lot of education, a lot of preparation that needs to be done ahead of the implementation of some of the upcoming legislation. So great to have you with us. And then we move on, and we now move to currently our only key technology partner that we have, but there will be more in the future. But about this first one, I'm very happy to have them on board, SmartexAI.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for this initiative, Lutz. We need more of these because the textile industry really needs it and is a bit behind compared with other industries in terms of technology and digitization. My name is Gilberto. I'm co-founder of Smartex. For those who don't know us, we are a technology company operating in the textile factories space. And we build hardware and software and AI and very complex stuff to install inside textile factories. Actually, this image that you see over here is one of our products, our main product, that is a system of cameras, multi-spectrum cameras, and so on, really complex and cool stuff that we install inside textile machines, knitting machines or weaving machines. We have been spreading these devices all over the world, more than 1,000 systems already sold. And we have been proving consistently that with technology applied in textile machines and textile factories, we can reduce costs, reduce the price per garment for fashion brands and for garment manufacturers. We can reduce wastage all over the supply chain for textile manufacturers, knitters, weavers, dyers, with good and attractive payback periods, and make eventually the textile industry be much more connected, digitized, fast, with less delays and less surprises and less headaches. Actually, I really admire many of the companies, especially Lectra, Philip, you mentioned, because I really think it's really needed to have hardware in the fields, in the factories, to really create a massive impact in all of these guys. Of course, software is also important, but hardware is hard, it's expensive, it is difficult to scale. And that's why we count with the best investors in the world. We raised $45 million to build a bunch of hardware and operation systems. We are supported by Lightspeed Ventures and many other investors, and also fashion brands like H&M and some others. Okay, so since we are in this webinar talking about digitization, let me tell you, we have lots of work to do. I have been traveling the world during the last 10 years. We have customers in more than 10 countries. And these pictures, I take these pictures from my phone. This is what I see in Brazil, in China, in Indonesia, in Bangladesh. We still have lots of work to do. Most of the processes are still dependent on manual labor, human inspection, pen and paper. It's really difficult to track things. And despite there is lots of legislation and fashion brands asking data from the suppliers, most of the data from their ERPs and systems are really difficult to get because of the pen and paper story and the human dependency story. Especially on the fabrics production. I'm going to focus a lot today to talk about fabrics production, which is where we stand. Most of the problems rely on delays because the fabrics was not as the brand required or the customer required. There is lots of delays and lots of wastage after cutting for garment factories when they cut the panels and then they cannot sell these garments. And the reason for that we have been studying the industry for the last few years is that most of the defects and faults and problems, they come from the supply chain, from the knitting, from the dyeing, the coloring, and the garment cutting. And eventually, when it gets to the garment stage, where it's 10 times more expensive, 10 times more critical in terms of time, we have an average wastage of 3%, 4%, 5%, sometimes 20%. The order gets canceled. There are lots of horror stories about that. not to mention all the sustainability issues, the amount of water and chemicals and the yarn that we spend to produce something that is not going to reach the stores. So for fashion brands, they usually look to fabrics as a black box, because you have the knitting process a few days or weeks, then the dyeing process a few days or weeks, then the garment assembling, and then the retailing. And if you have a problem with your fabrics, you have no clue. Right? It's really difficult to track it because it's usually a separated structure to build it. So that's where we get in. We start installing these camera systems inside the textile machines. What you see over here is a knitting machine. Most of the fabrics of the world, sweaters, sportswear, comes from these type of machines. And we photograph the fabrics. We take pictures of the fabrics to recognize all sorts of problems, defects, or not conformities in the production. This is a very complex machine learning algorithm to build. That's why we spend so much money and time. We have so much people working on it because fabrics is really a complex monster. You have jacquards, you have colors, you have different patterns every day. Sometimes it is a defect on Monday, sometimes it's not a defect on Tuesday because of the patterns. So it's really, really a complex thing to do. And basically, when we photograph the whole fabrics, we also create the digital twin of the textile roll. So we have digital rolls, digital machines. We know the runtime, off time, stop time of the machine. So we create the digital factory concept with these cameras that we provide to our clients. With this, people ask us, okay, how do you save money? Well, if a defect starts in the machine, with SmartX, we stop the machine immediately, so the defect remains very small. If we don't stop the machine immediately, the defect propagates and eventually gets to the cutting tables or even to the garment level. So you produce more panels with SmartX than without SmartX. Okay, so long story short, with these cameras along the supply chain, we can give visibility on quality, on the delivery times, and reduce wastage, increase the efficiency overall. We have been proving this with lots of brands. We have projects with H&M, with Hugo Boss, Zara, and it has been consistently proven that at the garment stage or the brand stage, we can reduce the price per garments. Most of the costs of a garment are the raw materials, fabrics. We can increase the amount of panels that we can cut per kilo, right? We have less fabrics waste and so on and so forth. So we are building these tools and the digitization. That's a bit of why we are also part of these type of programs. And thank you, Lutz, for including us here. It is, I think we share the same vision in terms of let's stop having everything on pen and paper and phone calls and emails, and let's just be transparent. This is also aligned with a bunch of initiatives of legislators to see in a dashboard, in a cockpit, where is my fabrics? Where is my supply chain? How is it going? Who is producing my fabrics? Most of the brands, sometimes with the sub-suppliers, it's very difficult to track that. The other part of the equation that we also are providing worldwide is a set of systems, tags, QR codes, heat press labels that are impossible to be removed, basically to connect the digital world to the physical world. There is no point in having everything on the software if you cannot prove it. And for those who are experienced in textiles, and I have been working here for almost 15 years now, you know, if you cannot prove it, someone will cheat the system, and you cannot claim your sustainability claims and things like that. So you always need to connect the physical with the digital, and we believe this will be an essential part of the digital product passport as well. Okay, so that's it. Thank you a lot for your time. And if there are any garment guys around or fashion brands around, I would invite you to get in touch with me, and we can explore a bit better how we can make the supply chain much more digital. Thank you, Lutz. Up to you.
Well, thank you, Gilberto, for this quick race through the things that you do. We will see a lot more of SmartX later on in the program in more detail, probably at a slightly slower pace as well, so that people can follow it step by step. So with this, I would like to take over again and very quickly come back to the upcoming activities that I already very briefly mentioned in the beginning. So see if the slides are moving. So yes, what is next? So I already showed you this this picture here before. So let me very quickly explain that to you. So obviously today is our welcome webinar that has been open to any comers. So everybody, subscriber or not, was invited to join us here. That will obviously change with our first learning webinar coming up on the 4th of March. So anybody who wants to to follow the program starting with the 4th of March webinar needs to subscribe. And as we have explained, subscribing itself is easy. If you are an associate member of the ETP, or if you are a company associated with one of the national associations of EURATEX, you can subscribe up to 1 staff member free of charge, and otherwise the rates are applying. So make sure you do that as quickly as you can, so that for those especially who have a paid subscription, obviously there is an invoicing and invoice payment process before we can onboard you. So to make sure that everything is done in time by the 4th of March, well, ideally subscribe today or tomorrow. So then we are starting the regular program in March. So we start with a sequence of 3 learning webinars, which are kind of setting the scenes. We start with one where we look into the real drivers of digitalization, and we will hear a bit more from 2 of our strategic innovation partners, from TrusTrace and Lectra, than the little glimpse that you got here today. We also invited Mauro Scalia from EURATEX to explain in a bit more detail the regulatory driver for digitalization, and well, I will have the pleasure to moderate this program on the 4th of March, and may add a few of my ideas around that as well. So this will be the first session where we really explain in a bit more detail why digitalization in the textile and fashion business is so important. And then we have 2 more of these startup series webinars coming up, one on the 18th of March and one on the 3rd of April. On the 18th of March, we look into some case studies from 3 European countries, Finland, Germany, and Portugal, in terms of where do we stand in terms of digital preparedness in the European textile and clothing industry. What are the things that are digitized or getting digitized? Where are the real gaps, the real needs? And I think there may be some interesting finding also in terms of where the industry is focusing on right now, perhaps depending obviously also on the structure of the industry. And then we have one where we look into the disruptive potential of AI. Again, a bit more sort of big picture view. So how may AI impact product creation, the production optimization, and also the supply chain intelligence. So I believe that these 3 webinars are really important scene setters for the more specifics of the programs that come afterwards. And then afterwards, as we progress in April and May, we will have these more specific technology deep dives, where we have 3 topics identified. One on supply chain traceability and the digital product passport, and that technology deep dive will be led by TrusTrace. There will be then another technology deep dive on collaborative product development, where we have different experts from Lectra looking at the different solutions that they build around this collaborative product development. And then we have in May, we have our annual conference that takes place in Spain, to which you're invited. The theme is eco-design. It is not specifically dedicated to digitalization, but we'll have at least one session dedicated to the digital product passport, so it could be interesting too. And then we have another technology deep dive where we look into the production aspects. How do you digitize production beyond what SmartexAI has shown us here? There are many other ways of digitizing production to be more efficient, to be more resource efficient, less wasteful, and more time to market, more controlled, more quality controlled. And then we will have 2 practical tutorials on subjects that are still to be discussed, to be defined. And then on the 3rd of July, we will have our first hands-on workshop at the headquarters of Lectra near Bordeaux in France. So this is the program for the first half of the year, which we hope you will find interesting. before we go into a quick Q&A, we still have 10 minutes left. I would like to run a very quick, because I see also there are not a lot of questions in the chat. I want to run with you through a little exercise. If you can take your mobile phones and scan this code, or for those who are on the computer, maybe have a link in the chat as well.
Yes.
So if you could go to this Mentimeter, you can also go to menti.com and type in the access code that you see here on the screen. And then we have one warm-up question in there. And
I can share.
You will share, Matteo?
Yes.
So normally you should see the first question popping up there. Which country are you from? And we see there are already quite a few answers. Let's see. Okay. That is basically just to check that that the system works. I'm sure we see some countries dominating here, and adding a few more, 31 responses. Okay, so I guess you realize how the system works. So let's then go to our first real question, if we can move on, which is, if you look at our 3 strategic innovation themes: digital manufacturing, digital product creation, and digital supply chain, which of those would you find, or in which order do you rank them? So you can shift those bars around on your Mentimeter screen. And we wanted just to get a feel where the greatest interest is. It seems quite balanced, I have to say. How many responses we have in now?
26 people.
26 people. Let's see if we can get a few more out of the 74 people that we have live here. So it seems to be now stabilizing a bit more. So the digital supply chain seems to be the leading area of interest, but also the other 2 are following behind. So it seems that there's none of the 3 themes that is really trailing very much. So well, that's good to know. So it means that we will bring you topics from all those 3 areas. But we took notice of the slight advance that the digital supply chain has. Great. And then I would say the most interesting question for us was the third one. You have a little more time, but I see you already advanced quite nicely here. So you can now select up to 3 topics, more specific topics that you would find most interesting for you. And that is for us quite informative, because then especially those specific technology deep dives and practical sessions would be much more technology specific or area specific. So there we would like to give you maybe another 1 or 2 minutes to complete those. I see that we have the AI-based systems for production optimization and quality control. So very much sort of the subject that also Gilberto just presented seems to be quite strong. Also manufacturing automation and robotics, digital design tools for sustainability and circularity, I see high. DPP, data and technology, obviously. Supply chain mapping. Okay. Very interesting. Okay, well, I think we leave things here. It's very informative, so for those who are still active, please keep adding to it. We will definitely have a look at the final version of that chart. We can also share it with you if you wish, and that will tell us quite a bit about the program going forward. So let me, for the last 5 minutes, still check if there are any questions. I didn't see any questions popping up in the chat. There was a question that the presentation, yes, will be shared and the recording will be made available. Let me then just finish by reminding you that if you're interested, hope to see many of you then as a subscriber in the program as of 4th of March. Thank you all. Goodbye.